I hate admitting this. I have not been to a gym in I can't tell you how long. Like that's how.
What's the
bad
last
it
thing
is
you did to get your heart rate up, though?
to get my heart rate. I run to respond. My heart rate goes up at work all the time. Like I'm like on the edge. Like,
what have you done to get your heart rate up and keep it up?
looking for restaurants to eat.
Here we go. Hey, hold my beer.
And now,
Episode 60. Episode
Dude.
60. I mean, granted,
How
we've
are
had
we
some
at episode
space between-
60 already?
I mean, it may seem like a lot to us, probably because it's just, it's just us.
60 times we have sat down and done this. Isn't that crazy?
And not to float my own boat here, all right, or toot my own horn, however you want to call it. I've been on every single one.
Wait.
I've been on every single one.
You have. So have you seen, do you watch, like on TikTok right now, one of the shows, like 911, one of the ones Heather watches is about to hit their 100th episode or something. And so like all their cast, I only know this because I keep seeing this on Heather's TikTok, but all their cast is like bragging right now of how many episodes they've been on and stuff like that. And one dude is like, hi, I've been on there 100 episodes. I'm 100 episodes, stuff like that. And I'm like, you actually get full credit because you've been on here for every episode. Not to mention, you've also got the Recess Ruckus episodes under your belt.
Yeah,
too.
but I've really, just recently, and we can talk about that as we get down the road, but just recently been reaching out to the people to pre-schedule like recordings for that to kind of build that back up because I really want to focus on that more. But
yeah,
I still would rather do this, but I also want that
to
not go away. So, but unfortunately, Jordan's not here again.
I know, that's so sad.
This one could be
I haven't talked to him recently. What's up? Have you?
This could be.
Have you heard from him?
It could have been an emergency, but I'm not going to take it like he is only 36. Okay,
that's true.
But Jordan is not here today because on Monday he is going in for a very early colonoscopy. So at the young age of 36, Jordan is going in for a colonoscopy, and usually I think you get those after 45 or something like that. But
I think like 40 is the age where they tell you like, hey, you should probably start looking into it.
But it's normally from medical scares, like it's normally from like polyps or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, his daughter was having concerns because his butt burps weren't smelling right. So him being the great dad that he is, he's getting that poop chute cleaned out. And he's taking that berry milkshake, I think, starting tomorrow.
What a
so
good
he can
dad.
be with us. Yeah. That's love. If you're going to clean out your butt burps for your daughter.
Cleaning out the old poop chute for his kids.
The butt burps.
Making sure he's safe. Good on you, Jordan. Proud of you.
How you been?
Good. Sore. Oh, my gosh. My upper body is so freaking sore from laying all this flooring. I didn't realize...
You're a carpet
layer.
Well,
it's all the interlock.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the
fake wood.
The vinyl. Yeah. And so it's all the interlocking stuff, which is fine. But when you're laying 500 square feet of it, in one day, after a while, your freaking arms get so tired of shoving everything in that you're just exhausted. So like my arms and my shoulders and everything are just worked.
I've never laid floors, so like I can only imagine because I watched the people do the carpet in my living room. It's
a monotonous job. I'm not a fan because of the monotony.
Oh, I can imagine bending over like for how long?
Oh, dude, that's like my knees hurt so bad, and I have bald spots on my knees now.
Need some like volleyball pads for them knees.
I have knee pads and everything. It's like, but those freaking. Yeah, they're like gel padded and everything. But the problem is I wear them too long, and unless I'm wearing jeans, then they're rubbing on the back of my knee and causing
what you
rashes
need is
there.
One of those those carts that we used to scoot on in grade school with like 4 wheels?
Yes,
That's what you
that
need
would
for
be
your butt.
fantastic. Absolutely. If
I
I
don't even
had
know what you
that
call
and
those.
could just scoot
Like they
across
were like
those
finger
little
breakers.
scooters, that's
Little finger
exactly what they were. You'd crush your
That's the only fear that I ever had. I never
fingertips on
happened.
that, man.
It never
Oh God, yeah.
happened,
Are
but
you kidding me? That never
luckily
happened to you?
it never happened to me. But like that was always a
Oh,
fear. It's kind of like snakes.
bro.
Like I stayed away from the wheels.
I'm
Probably why I
pretty
never
sure
won
it
a race.
happened to me like 3 times.
You were always getting hurt though.
I know. It's because I was clumsy. I wanted to do fun things, and I wanted to do them at the speed that everybody else did them, but I wasn't coordinated enough to.
And that's probably why I never won them. I never had my hands close enough to the wheels to actually
Oh,
like get bit, Like,
man, it was fun when you got going fast, though.
yeah, if you were on your chest and you had somebody pushing you by your feet, like
Heck
that was the way
yeah.
to go.
Heck yeah.
But just you're just
Rolling
doing that,
carts for the win. Yeah, that's so
Just-
flooring. Gosh, what else we did? Oh, we had a funeral today. That was sad.
passed.
Gentleman from our church, Glenn. He's been there the whole time I was a pastor, so it was hard, man. It's
Was he
weird.
older?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He was in his 80s. He'd been battling cancer for a while. So, but there's something about that. Watching going to that funeral, I only knew him the last 10 years of his life. And, if you've been to a funeral in the past, 10, 15 years, there's most likely a slideshow that shows
Mhm.
pictures of their life. Right. And
Well.
so Heather and I were kind of talking about this, like we're watching these pictures go by and it's a completely different person. We don't recognize this guy at all. And it's interesting. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting too like ethereal, maybe I'm having, weird brain thoughts right now, but like it's interesting to me to see how much of an amalgamation, like how much of a combination of everything somebody is at the end of their life. I knew, like, who I knew Glenn to be was just this really cool, laid back, ham radio operating, kind of nerdy dude, but just a real cool guy. And like as you're watching these pictures unfold, seeing him as an outdoorsman, seeing him in the military, seeing him with his kids, seeing him like as an attractive young dude, not as just an old dude with, that's walking around with a cane and stuff like that. And just seeing like getting to see so much of his life culminated, and then realizing, man, the 10 years that I got with him, I got the fruit of so much of the labor of his life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you got the one that like knew how to treat people by the time he was a certain age. I mean, like
Right,
he
but
lived
really-
life and he knew more
Right,
about
yeah.
life. So
Yeah, I got the last 10 years of his life to get to know him. And so I got to experience the benefit of the 70 years of life that he had lived before this. And so, I don't know, man. I guess I'm just kind of recognizing that
life is short.
life is short, but there's more to the story.
Well, it's
There's more to the story, and
but you
that
should
the
always know
fruit-
that. Don't judge
Well,
a book by its cover.
Yes, but I guess really what I mean by that is there's more to the story than now.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking it from my perspective as a 36-year-old who hopefully will live to 80 like he did, and recognizing that the impact that Glenn had on my life didn't come until he was 70 years old. Not that it matters to him, but it matters to me because I care about having an impact on people.
Right.
And so for me, it's that idea that there's still more to the story. Like, and I'll be honest with you, if I'm being completely honest, I've taken a bit of a hit to my identity stepping away from being a pastor. It's been a bit of a kind of a hit.
That's understandable.
It's been hard to process. You know,
Surprise.
Who am I? Yeah. And recognizing, like, that's really kind of what Glenn's funeral put into perspective for me, was I may not be still serving as a pastor at First Christian Church, but there's more to my story and there's way more to what's coming. So I know I've already impacted people in my life and in my ministry. I know there's way more coming. I'm just in a season where it doesn't feel very effective, or, you know, I feel like I'm sidelined. And so it was a nice reminder today that God's doing so much. Like, there's so much more to the story. This is just a chapter. So yeah, that's, I don't know where that came from, but you asked me what I was doing and I was like, yep, funeral today. That's
why I
kind of
asked.
on my heart and head. So,
but I mean, it makes you think about your parents too. Like, when you look at your parents, like, it's like, man, like, this person who was only here in my life 10 years and it affected me this way. Like, when a parent passes, like I've said many times, like, when you lose a parent, they don't teach you that in school. There's no way they could teach you that in school. That's one thing they couldn't teach you.
That is only an experience-based lesson.
I think that goes across the board. That's losing anybody. Like, that could be just like somebody you knew for 10 years or maybe 1 year. I mean,
I don't know though, man. Parent, and I would imagine child, are a next level loss that, I don't know. That's tough.
Well, the one that really shows that, like, the movie Interstellar, when his daughter's significantly older than him.
Yep.
No parent should have to see their child die or anything like that. Like, that's got to be way worse than your child seeing you pass. Like,
well,
because
I know a lady that I worked with for several years there at the church. She had a daughter pass, and she attested that was the worst thing. She said, no, like, she said, that is the hardest. She's like, imaginable is a parent losing a kid. That's something that no parent prepares for, and that no one, like, everybody loses their parents eventually, you know, unless of course you go first. But, you know, that's a universal experience. Losing your kid is not a universal experience.
No, I mean, you see tons of people just, their life stops when stuff like that happens.
But I mean, like, you know, you spoke to it really well, and of course, obviously, you've got, you know, the clearest experience here, man. But, you know, nobody teaches you how to move on without your parent. Nobody teaches you how to grieve properly through that.
Yeah, and there really isn't a proper way of grieving anyway.
Right?
But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know that, but like, even in that sense, like, nobody tells you, hey, what were all the things that, like, not to get too far into it for you, but, like, what are some of the things that you turn to your mom for?
Well, you know, like, always my entire life, me and my mom are close. Like, I told my mom, like, I would be able to tell my mom more stuff than I could my dad, just because, like, moms
that
are
was one of the things I was thinking about. You and your mom had a very good relationship in talking. Who do you talk to now?
My dad or my wife or you.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is, like, you've had to learn how to process that and how to get through that. Cause like you lost the person that you did talk to.
Right. But I also think that also defines how good of a parent your parents were, because if you can do that, like, I think I've adjusted pretty well losing my mom. Like,
oh, absolutely,
it
dude.
completely sucked. But, like, if my mom wasn't a good mom, like, I probably wouldn't know really how to, I guess, I mean, I was talking to people, like, hours after it happened already. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. But I mean, you also sort of feel that kind of, not guilt, but, like, reliability. Like, you need to be the strong person in the room or in the family, because you have your sister, especially if you're an older child. Like, if you're an older child, like, you have to be the strong one for them. Like, that's the mentality. And I think that reflects how good of a parent you had. Like, personally, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's at least
I don't
an
know
opinion.
that I would disagree with that.
But yeah, I mean, losing things sucks. And the only thing you do, I guess, learn how to lose is, like, toys and pets maybe, like, but that's
I don't
pretty
know that
easy.
we ever learn how to lose anything well. I think maybe we learn how to hold on less tightly to things,
Yeah.
but losing something always hurts. I've never found a single sane person out there that it doesn't hurt to lose someone or something.
I get mad when I lose my keys. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I feel
like,
you.
but that's frustration loss. Like, I mean, that's like stupid loss, but like, it's still the same way of feeling like it's your reaction towards losing something. So you
Yep.
can either be mad about it, you can be sad about it, or you can learn how to deal with it. And I think that's where, like, coping skills, I think that's really what teaches people
You could also
around
cry
you.
about it and deny it. Those are
Yeah.
actually the 5 stages right there.
But
So
for real?
yeah, you
Oh.
named 3, so I threw the other 2 out there.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I guess I'm better at my job than I realized.
That's great.
Speaking
I
of,
love it.
the guy was 80. Like, I couldn't imagine living to 80. Like,
Yeah,
could
man.
you see yourself at 80 years old? Be honest.
No, bro, dude, here's the thing.
40 years old used to be
like,
old.
who's gonna take me seriously at 80? That's what I want to know. Like, I'm still gonna be rocking Ninja Turtle shirts and stuff. Who's gonna take me seriously as an old man? Like,
It
all the
depends
old
on-
people I knew were like World War II veterans, and so I
Right.
was afraid of them. I will not be a terrifying old man. I don't even want to be a terrifying old man.
You're not going to be the get off my lawn guy.
No way, dude. No, thank you. I want to be the weird old dude that's got like, that puts flamingos out in his yard and has like, I want to build like a giant at to stand in my yard for Halloween.
Well, I mean, there are probably some 80-year-olds today that do that.
I'm just
Especially if
saying,
you live in
like,
Florida.
I'm gonna be a fun 80-year-old. That's
Especially
what I
when
want
you
to be.
live in Florida. But
Yes.
80 years old, like, that blows my, like, how many doctor visits is that?
Bro, that's at least 80.
I guess if you're taking care of yourself. If you're taking care of yourself.
At least 80, it's a yearly checkup.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I have to go twice a year. Like, that's
He was
the
a cool
downfall for
dude
me.
too. You know, he was in the military. He worked for a ton of different phone companies, and even helped build like some of the prototype cell phones, stuff like that.
Like, back
This-
when they had, like, the
Yeah, like
car
some of the
phones
first cell phones being made by like Nokia and stuff like that. He was part of the teams in the design labs. He's a ham radio enthusiast. He's kind of brilliant, but just a really simple dude. And that's the crazy thing. Is like when I got to know him, like his career and everything was beyond that. So like how I knew him was he was just a ham radio enthusiast. His wife was Barb. She's honestly, she is the church ultimate volunteer. That's the best way to put her. She does anything and everything she can because that's who she is. Like if you need the communion field, she's doing it. If you need, she sends the emails out. Like she just plugs in anywhere she can. So like, that's how I got to know him. She's just a sweet lady. He's this old dude that has firearms and loves to fish and loves to talk about ham radio and stuff like that. And I've come to find out, you know, he's you know, just has this very deep career. It's just
sort of nerdy, kind of like how you are. I mean, you're into
It
the,
is,
like,
yeah.
little.
well, and I'm
trinket type
realizing
things.
that there are 6. Yeah, there's gosh, what is it, 8? I said 6 billion. Gosh, that was when we were kids. There are 8 billion people on this planet now, and each one of them is these combination of years of life like that. And you know, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. As a pastor, you spend so much time with people, you
My
learn
wife's
their
staring at me. Sorry.
stories.
I'm listening.
You don't realize, I don't know, you don't realize the breadth of it all.
That's called taking a what was it called? What was the wording?
A sabbatical.
No, take a step back and take a deep breath. Like,
Yeah. It feels like one of those moments. It absolutely feels like one of those moments. So
especially if you don't take care of yourself, and like we said, I don't see myself living to 80, and neither do you. But like a lot of that has to do with life choices.
you don't see yourself living to 80?
Does anybody see themselves living to 80 years old?
I
Like,
totally see myself living to 80.
You just said you didn't.
No, I do. I see myself living to 80. I said I don't see anybody I don't see how
taking you
anybody could take me
seriously. Oh, okay.
seriously.
Well,
as
like
an
I'm
80-year-old.
just
But I
saying, like
totally
I don't
envision
see
myself as an
myself. I
80-year-old.
don't see myself living to 80. I very
Really?
well could. I'm just saying I couldn't imagine myself as an 80-year-old.
80 doesn't feel that old to me anymore.
We ain't halfway there yet, dude. Quit cutting your
Yeah, but again, pastor of a small church, half the people in my church are 60 plus.
In a world filled with imitations, there's one name that stands out above all the rest. Rage Beef Jerky, a small batch jerky company that sets the standard for what it means to be 100% grade A quality beef.
Rage Beef Jerky is the self-proclaimed world's best beef jerky. But just because it's self-proclaimed doesn't mean it's not true.
Rage Beef Jerky is made right here in the USA and can be found in 5 states across 400 plus locations ranging from Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas.
But if you're not near those states, all you've got to do is visit www.ragebeefjerky.com, and you could choose from any of the 6 flavors that they got of jerky or beef sticks. They got both now. They're really good. The flavors are original, teriyaki, hot, cracked pepper, sweet, and spicy, or you can go with my all-time favorite, which is bacon jalapeno. Chef's kiss.
Rage Beef Jerky has given our listeners the opportunity to save 15% off their order. At checkout, use promo code CHUBBY, that's CHUBBY, and save 15% off your order. Don't let your taste buds suffer through any more mystery meat products. Visit www.ragebeefjerky.com and let your taste buds rage.
Get your jerky on. So,
are you doing your
and
daily
they're
visits
still
to the doctor and the coffin and
well,
the
no,
blood,
that's the thing.
like blood checks?
I have 90-year-olds who are in better shape than 68-year-olds. It's truly just you hit a point in your life where your body can't keep up and it goes downhill. And when it goes downhill, sometimes it goes downhill really quickly.
Yeah.
But it's nuts because I know, gosh, I got a 91-year-old woman that was at the funeral today who still drives herself everywhere. She's very capable. She still
like
sees
lady
just
you
fine.
can't
She's
see from behind, like you only see
she's
hands.
not. That's not Betty. It's not Betty. Betty passed away. She was driving for a while, but no, this is another lady at our church. But like, we're all different, so we all age differently. But think about how freaking
I'm not saying like
ridiculously how old my grandma lasted till.
Well, which
And
one?
she wasn't in great. Well,
Which,
my grandma
oh,
D's still kicking.
oh,
But
well, but
Grandma Louise
I'm
made it
thinking
to
of the other one.
93. Yeah,
And
Louise.
wasn't there like a
yeah.
cutoff? Wasn't there like a cutoff at some point?
92. 91.
So she broke it. She broke the
Yeah.
threshold.
And Bobby's favorite memory of this is when
man.
when I looked at my mom one day.
Dad,
Wasn't it? It was mom.
we were
No, it was
sitting at
Dad.
the table in the morning. He was having his coffee, and then out of nowhere, that's why it was
I
so
was just
funny.
like,
Because it was
Dad,
was
wasn't
so
Grandma
out of
supposed
pocket.
to die by now?
You're like, hey, Grandma's like what, 89, right? She's only got about so many years left, and he was like, what? And then that's when he goes, oh yeah, they only lived to
Something
be
of
91.
that tune. Like, doesn't Grandma die in a year and a half or something like that?
I was like, whoa. I was like, it's way too early in the morning.
Prophecy. No.
All right, Nostradamus.
She made it to 93.
Well, she broke her.
That's what makes me think I'll make it for a while. I come from stubborn blood, baby.
Right, I'm not saying do I think I'll make it.
Stubborn blood.
I think anything's possible with that, but I don't imagine myself. I can't imagine myself looking 80, acting 80. What's going to be my problem in it? Can I not walk?
That's my problem. I
Am I
don't
gonna
think I'll
need,
be
like,
acting 80. I
a
might need a
walker?
cane.
Am I going to have a walker? Like, I think I'm going to rock out like hardcore since it's going to be 40 years from now or 44. Like, I'm going to go above and beyond and get that old man style stuff that's like probably 10 years ago from us. Like, like I'm rocking the vest. I'm rocking the hats.
I have an alternative option for you.
For me?
Yes.
What?
I don't know if I want to say it.
Why? Do I ever get offended?
No, you don't. I think you would make a really funny, like, not Santa Claus, but
Is this just because of the beard?
no. It's the behavior. It's okay.
Behavior?
Think bad Santa.
No, I mean, like, how funny that show was, right? But like, he was perverted,
Here's
like
the thing.
hardcore.
That's why I was saying not exactly like that, but when you're like, here's the thing. When you're around kids, some of your comments
Oh man,
are just comedy gold. If you guys don't know, Bobby isn't the fondest of children. He doesn't.
I don't
hate
mind
them
kids.
by any means.
I don't
He does
mind
not mind kids. He doesn't hate them by any means. But they are not his favorite people. And if he has a choice, if it's his choice, he will probably choose not to hang out with kids. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Bobby?
100%. I'm not
So
like, if it's my choice, like if I have 100% the choice.
if you've seen Bad News Bears, I imagine Bobby as like a Bad News Bear. Okay. I imagine you as like not a Santa Claus, but more like Bad News Bears.
So pretty much
Like,
Billy
as a
Bob
coach.
Thornton's
Yes,
attitude.
absolutely. He's
Well,
played
I
the
mean-
character twice, and I just think your relationship, your mental and emotional relationship towards the category of children.
Dude, the best thing he had was when she told him the band she was going to go see. She's like, the blood farts, and he goes, the blood farts. Oh, I'm going. I mean, he was like I could hang out with kids, but like, one, that they're gross. Like they spill stuff all over themselves. They can't. Two, like they ask so. Like I so feel bad for like Mike. You know, like Mike would be sitting there and I'd be asking questions and questions. I totally like question after question. Hey, let me tell you. Like Holly, she'll go, "Hey, let me tell you something." I'm like, "Oh God, what?" And she'll tell me something
how's it
so
going with Holly, by the
off
way?
the wall. Oh, she already went back with her dad. She went
Is
home
she back
Monday.
with her dad?
Yeah. She went back
Was
Monday.
it a good time though?
Oh, I mean, it's never a bad time. It's just like, oh my gosh,
A little overwhelming.
every day.
That's so funny.
Like when Jamie is in the room, that's when I sneak away. It's kind of like that. Like,
That's hilarious.
I'm in the bathroom.
You
Like
sneak
that's
away.
where bathrooms. Like I already like my bathroom time, but gone.
Oh man.
Speaking of 80, like, and like I said, it's not that I don't see myself living to 80.
I just got to stay in good health. That's the thing. If I can stay in good health,
Yeah.
and every time I go to the doctor, I check out good. All my numbers check out good.
Everything.
We do our quick little, yeah. I think my cholesterol. No,
I'm
my
talking
cholesterols
like-
have been fine too. My iron's a little low. My iron's a little low, and my vitamin D.
My
But other
good
than that, everything
cholesterol
checks
is
out.
low, and my bad cholesterol is good. Like,
Okay, that's
apparently
good.
that's like a
You got to get your
normal
good
thing.
cholesterol up, but you're okay on
Well,
your
like
bad
he
cholesterol.
said that sometimes it's like, okay, so I've been to the doctor. Like, if it probably wasn't for Jamie, I'm going to be honest. Like, I would probably be a slacker going to the doctor. Like,
This is such an old man podcast, by the way, because we're talking about what our doctors are telling us about our.
well, and
About
like I
our
said,
health.
like I do go to the doctor, but like many times that I've gotten labs done, it's always that my good cholesterol is low. But he said that it's a hereditary. So like normally it's
Oh,
from
okay,
either-
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but he said that you can fix it with, like they always say, good diet, good exercise, blah blah
Yep.
blah, stuff they have to say. It's like they're
Yep. The mantra of the doctor.
But like I went to the doctor on Monday, the day right after Easter, and I went there. I got there. I checked in. Normally, the day before I'm always fasting, or the night before I stop eating, and then just
Yeah,
in
you gotta
case
do
I have to-
labs.
just in case. But like
Right.
not all the time do I do it because they never tell you, so I just assume. So I get there, I check in. The first thing that like, all right, what's the first thing that happens when they call you back to go see the doctor? You check
Gosh, I
in,
mean,
you're
you
sitting
check
there waiting.
in. The nurse usually
Joshua
does your
or
vitals, stuff like
JD,
that.
right? Okay,
Yeah, they
so
call you
before
back. They
that,
get your vitals.
okay, and before that, you get weighed, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get weighed.
You get weighed.
Okay,
Yeah.
every time, never fails.
As you're walking down the hallway, they stop and
Yeah,
weigh you.
I've never been the guy that bought a scale or cared about his weight outside of wrestling. So like that's really the only time that I check my weight. So I go to the doctor twice a year, so I see my weight twice a year, and that's it. Like I don't weigh myself. And one, I don't care. Two, like I probably should care, especially like the thing that threw me off though. Like I'm never ready for it. Like I never remember it. Like my doctor's scales are always set to kilos.
Oh, yeah.
They're always set to kilos. So I'm
I
like,
hate that. So is
I'm
my
like,
doctor.
what
and
number
I hate
is
that. I'm
that?
like, I'm trying to read this.
Is that my
and I don't
BMI?
understand that.
I was like, is that my BMI? No. But anyway, they always switch it to pounds to let you see it, right? And like the second her thumb flipped that thing from kilos to lbs, my face was probably the same face that people made back in like whatever year it was that gas went from like whatever it was to $3. Bro.
Your just jaw hit the floor. You're like,
Yeah. Like I was like, no. I was like, no way. And granted, like I was like 10-second Tom. Like we're walking back. She puts me in a room. She checks my blood pressure, which was great. Always is, especially since I'm on blood pressure meds. I'm old. But anyway, I'm sitting there. Like if somebody sees a drastic change from obviously many times they've been there before to like when they flip it from kilos to, I was like, let's go back to kilos real quick. To pounds. Like what's the normal like what would you do if you saw a drastic change and you weren't ready for it? Like you feel fine, like you never expected it, and then boom. Like my only excuse was it was Easter and I did not have a big dinner.
Bro, I don't know. Like I probably just I would gasp. I
didn't say anything.
Check that again? Like
I didn't
what?
say anything. I'm like you can't. I mean, like I didn't have any reaction. I mean, mentally and like
Oof.
internally, I was like, what? But no, like really, ultimately, people should be like a normal poor person would probably be worried when they're sitting there pondering about why the scale has changed significantly from their last visit. No, what's my fat ass do? What do you think I did?
I have no idea.
Well, I drive from Hutch to Wichita.
Oh, well, hang on.
To see my doctor.
So, like, what'd you do after the doctor's visit? Probably went and got a cheeseburger.
After I got weighed, got sat in the room to wait for him. What do you think I did?
You ordered Uber Eats, didn't you?
No, I don't do that. But I did Google nearest places to eat in Wichita. Like so it didn't faze me, but it should.
You immediately started thinking about dinner.
I was like, man, where am I going to eat at, dude? Like,
oh, I feel you. 100%.
I was like, because Wichita has so many better places to eat. Like, that's another reason why I'm happy to fast, because I was like, man, I'm gonna have a good meal after I go see the doctor. Maybe he makes me cough, but that's fine because I'm gonna get like Popeyes or something like that. No, but yeah, I was looking for nearest places to eat, and
that's hilarious.
Like, and normally a doctor, like I said, they always say that, oh, healthy diet, healthy fitness routine, blah, 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 blah. They have to say that. Like, that's the conversations that all doctors have, I think. Now, my doctor and I, like, our conversations are not that. He said, well, the weights went up a little bit. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. And I was like, hey, I'm worried, but I'm worried. Like, I don't feel.
I like that. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. Just kind of both acknowledge it. Yeah.
Okay. And he said, well-balanced diet, healthy eating habits, and working out, so many whatever. But like, well, what conversations do you have after your checkup? Like I know we talked earlier and you said like you were thinking about it.
Okay, so that is kind of the weird thing, because like as a pastor, it's weird. Everybody that knows you're a pastor, like immediately like talks.
Does he go to your church?
Always talks faith? No, she doesn't. She doesn't go to my church, but she is like, she goes to the Baptist church, so we talk Jesus.
Does she have a shirt that says, yeah,
it's also a small Midwest town too, so that's another thing. But yeah, within 5 minutes, it always ends up turning to ministry and church and what's going on at their church, what's going on at our church, stuff like that. So
I probably shouldn't have gotten
a lot of conversations do that with a pastor. Like it's either that or people freeze up and don't want to talk to me.
Because they think you're judging them.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I am the farthest
You
thing.
should just pop off with like some
from-
like Tourette's, like shit.
What is that gonna do?
I don't
We're
know.
like,
Make them go. This dude
pastor's
cusses.
crazy.
This dude cusses. He ain't going.
But
to
I
hell.
don't though. Remember, I kick people out of my house for doing that.
Well, no, that's listening to music with cuss words.
Oh, it was him cussing. It
Well,
was Jordan cussing that got him kicked out.
but like, I think I would probably respond to a less cool doctor. Like, if my doctor and I weren't cool, and like he was like the Gordon Ramsays of doctors, I think I would probably respond better to like, man, you've got life. Like, I don't know what's his what lingo does he speak? Where's he from?
British?
Great Britain. Is he British? I didn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I didn't know if
he's
he was
British.
Australian or not.
No, he's
But, like,
British.
He'd be like, man, you've gotten fat. Like, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Oh, so
And he's like-
you're saying if you had a more aggressive doctor, a doctor who kind of
I'd
said
probably
it to
respond
you straight,
better.
like a
Yeah.
Simon Cowell or something like
Yes.
that, you'd respond better?
Yeah, Simon Cowell, Gordon
Gotcha.
all of them all in one.
Gotcha.
They're like,
So you
like-
need a doctor who's going to say, hey, fat ass, put the food down
yeah.
and go
Do you
for
want to
a
look
jog."
like a slob? Do you want to die at 79?
Bro, so basically you want a doctor that will be mean, that will bully you into getting healthier.
Yeah, it's like, you got bloody fat since I last saw you.
Oh, so you want House. You try to get House as your doctor. I got you.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to have House. I would love to have House. Like, that would be
You
so
don't
dope.
want House as your doctor, because if House is your doctor, that means your case
More
is
tests.
serious.
Oh, yeah. That's,
It's
Yeah.
possibly
you have a long, life-threatening disease.
Yeah, very life-threatening disease if House is
But it
got
would be
your
a
case.
really cool story for like the grandkids or friends.
And you'd have all that time in therapy to recover from him being a jerkwagon.
That would be my therapy because I love
I
like
know.
I love like comedy roasts. Like I
Oh,
did get
gosh.
fat, dude. That was a good comeback. But like but like you know how he says like you have to work out. Like there's nothing I can't honestly tell you, and I hate admitting this. I have not been to a gym in I can't tell you how long. Like that's how
What's the
bad
last
it
thing
is
you did to get your heart rate up, though?
to get my heart rate. I run to my heart rate goes up at work all the time. Like I'm like on the edge. Like
What have you done to get your heart rate up and keep it up?
looking for restaurants to eat.
As you're scrolling through that menu, going, that bacon cheeseburger looks good.
Oh, they're only a quarter mile away.
Oh, onion rings too.
But
Let's
no, do you remember
go.
when we got back into like fitness? Like the worst things. One of the worst things that I remember was the Tuesday after that Monday of the first day of leg day, walking
Ugh.
flights of stairs, bro.
Bro, no thank you. I never want to go
remember-
back to it.
I remember
hated
one
it.
time I couldn't get off the toilet because my legs were shot. Like that is terrible.
That's hilarious.
And you remember every stair your legs buckled like with
Heck
with,
yeah, I
with
remember.
agony. It was
Yeah,
just
you're
atrocious.
trying to climb the stairs to get to class, and you're just like, I can't walk. And everybody's laughing at you because you're walking slow.
Do you try any health trends that are going on popular, or have you ever tried them other than dieting? Like, no,
not really.
I just didn't know if there was anything trendy that like you see like everybody doing those polar plunges and stuff. Like, I don't like to be cold in the first place. And, like that right there is a deterrent. But like, if I knew that it was gonna like do something for me, it'd be like, we'll think about it.
Oh, you mean the people that are doing like
Yeah.
cryo, like
Yeah,
plunges? Yeah,
like
gotcha.
cryotherapy or polar
Yeah.
plunges.
Yeah,
or
I haven't done it. There's the science is there, dude.
oh yeah,
More calories out than in. That's all there is to it. Intake's got to be lower than your output, and if you can't decrease your intake, you've got to increase your output. It's one of those two.
I just need to eat
That's-
healthier. Like that's
it's-
my bottom line. I
but
just need to eat healthier. That's it.
Again, though, it's all comes down to input output. You've got to output more than
and
you
what I mean by
input.
eating healthier is eating less. Like that's my
Yeah.
problem. Like it has
So-
nothing to do with. I mean,
So for you, it's decrease the input.
probably yeah, because my output's it's in the shitter. I'm just being honest. But like
I
one
have
health.
a really.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I have a really bad habit of like relying too much on junk food to carry me through, like the busy stuff, like grabbing a soda to, because
Just a
I've
quick,
got to.
quick something to eat so you don't fall out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
And
I'm
that's where-
constantly
Let's
go,
not
go,
forget-
go, go,
good
go.
plug. Rage beef jerky beef sticks, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, oh my goodness. Yeah. It's not even that we necessarily have to plug it, but man, those are very helpful when I've been burning through a project or something. Like just the other day, I was working on the flooring downstairs and I'm putting everything in, and I've been working for like 5 hours without realizing I hadn't ate or drank anything. I was just working because I was on a roll. And
Hangry's a
I
real thing.
stopped. Bro, I was like, felt like I was going to vomit. I got up and I was dizzy and
Bro.
everything like that. Came in, grabbed a couple of slices of cheese, grabbed a couple of meat sticks and a thing of crackers, and grabbed a tea and sat down and chilled for 20 minutes and got all my energy back. It was great. Dude, those things are perfect.
Oh
They
man,
definitely
like,
do the job.
that's why I said, like, I was gonna say, like, there's one diet out there that like I could totally get on.
Carnivore?
100%.
Carnivore? Let's
100%.
go, baby. 100%.
The only thing is the detourment is like the amount of money you have to pay for meat.
Bro,
Like that's the only
exactly.
detour. Like
if
everything
it wasn't
else,
so expensive to have a protein heavy diet, you better believe I would go protein
it's,
heavy
for
all
me,
the time.
for just me, a week's worth of protein that my body would need is 25 pounds of protein.
Have you
Bro.
looked into? See, the perk there is if you can get good recipes on chicken and tuna, those really rack up the protein levels. You don't like those?
I don't mind
Tuna?
Okay, so tuna.
Bro,
The only
I
thing
can give you a few recipes on tuna.
The only thing that I don't, I mean, when I was actually fixing my meals or prepping my meals, like I was totally into that. I was grilling chicken and eating chicken every like 3 hours and stuff like that. Like that was when I was dedicated to how I looked. But dude, like tuna is so boring. It is the most boring thing on the planet. No matter how you, or chicken. Chicken is the most boring.
I agree.
Chicken itself, like turkey, is the
Chicken's-
most boring bird.
Chicken's all in the seasoning and the way you use it. Chicken
the
itself
only way
is
that I
boring.
like it
You're
is
correct.
fried and from churches.
Really? Oh gosh, there's so many
No.
more ways you can
Well,
do it.
because I burned
Get
myself
your
out
chicken-
on it's because I burned myself out on chicken.
Right.
Like that was my
And so
fault.
the standard chicken
Yeah.
flavor is just
Yeah, it's just
gross
like,
to you.
ugh.
I had a season. It's so dumb. I had a season where I hated SpaghettiOs in college.
I don't like SpaghettiOs anyways.
I love SpaghettiOs,
Oof.
but I hated them in college because for a season it was all I could eat. It was all I had.
Like ramen.
Yeah,
Is your
basically.
ramen.
I was buying dollar cans of SpaghettiOs, and that was what I was eating for dinner most nights at
Oh.
college.
And you
It
guys
sucked.
shared a
I
bathroom.
got burned out
Oh
on
my
ramen. I hated
Lord.
it. Ugh.
Did you eat them
hated
out
it.
of the can or did you heat them up?
Oh, out of the can cold.
Oh, that's roughing it right there.
Well, it was college, bro. I was poor.
Oh,
Portland Championship Wrestling. If you do not know that name yet, I am sorry for you because you are missing out on some really good stuff. Let me tell you what you just missed out on, and that was Last Chance. Last Chance was the last pay-per-view held in Wichita, Kansas at the Osage Rec Center. It was a blast. We got to promote a match that was a tag team match for the number one contender spot for the KWA titles. And it was Kargar and Ricky Wingrave, two very dynamic wrestlers. I know Ricky's had a lot of influence in Kargar's wrestling, versus the Para Rock Stars, also a very good tag team who have held titles and I believe have been in competition for those tag titles before. So let me be clear, lots of good heated match, but that was a very good match that ultimately ended with Kargar and Ricky Wingrave pulling off the W. They are headed to our Legacy event. We are headed to Legacy and they are headed to that title match. They are headed to the title match against Chancla Violence, and I got to give a shout out to Chancla Violence because they are my OGs. I love those guys. They've been supporting the Chubby Buddy food truck since day one, and they are
How many
my
did they
biggest
buy?
fans.
how many did they buy?
They bought at least a half dozen, and then they loved it so much that the first time we did Biscuit Bombs, we sent the whole tray of buffalo chicken home with them. because they loved
wow.
it so much, and that was what we had left over, and they nuts for it. So they are our biggest supporters, and we also them. So they defended those KWBA titles against a tag team, and so they will actually be defending those at Legacy versus Kargar and Ricky Wingrave. And those guys have been just tearing up a storm. The crowd really likes them. Those are the guys that come out with the awesome Nerf guns, and it's just so fun, man. They're hit. The crowd gets into it. They love it. They bring a ton of energy. So lots of fun there. So shout out Chunkle Violence for holding on to their titles. But man, we have another match to announce. So like we said, Legacy is what's coming up. That's going to be April 20th. At 5 p.m. Osage Rec Center. That's the VIP. Right? Doors open at 5? No. Yes.
Yeah.
VIP's at 5. Bell's going to ring at 6, meaning the first actual match is going to happen at 6 o'clock. But man, so let's go ahead and talk about the match that we get to announce. Bobby, fill them in a little bit.
We're not really announcing. We're more highlighting like a
that's
really
true. That's
honorable...
true. The cool thing, if you don't mind, the cool thing about HCW is this Legacy. I would say it's well, if you're tuning in, you're possibly tuning in right after this past weekend where WrestleMania was happening. In fact, WrestleMania is on my TV right now as we record. WrestleMania is a huge event. You know, the Super Bowl for football, the World Series for baseball, WrestleMania for wrestling, Daytona 500 for racing. You know, there's major events. Legacy is HCW's major event. So all of these matches have been set up. They've been building storylines for months. For plenty of shows, we've been seeing these storylines build up. So you're right, Bobby. We're not actually announcing anything because if you're an HCW fan, if you're tuned in on their socials and stuff like that, you already know all of the heat that's coming. But we get to highlight one in particular. So go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I know that you were busy serving up biscuit bombs, but
Bro,
at last
so
chance,
busy.
I could tell. But at last chance, there was a triple threat match that involved Cameron Burnett, who was an NXT superstar, Mindy Grace,
she's phenomenal,
and Stormy Renee. Yeah, Cameron Burnett, hands down, one of the nicest people I think I ever met.
Her energy, I didn't even see her actually in the ring. What I saw was her presence around the ring and backstage. She was like building up everybody. She was cool, man. She was a presence to be around. She definitely had, you could tell she is good at what she does, and she has been doing this for a little while. So
yeah.
NXT
but
superstar though. Okay.
Yeah, but it involved her, Mindy Grace, and HCW's one and only Macho Hottie, Stormy Renee, not the other Stormy. But, this match was actually the one to determine the number one contender for the Sunflower title, the one that Stormy lost to Heidi Howitzer. This match was going great and quickly spiraled to be a very much different and crazy turn of events. And I don't know if you got to see anything or maybe see a video afterwards.
Not really.
Well, unfortunately,
heard the murmurings in the crowd, in the crowd, but that was about it.
It was more of a shock. But like the beloved Stormy Renee lost her temper during the match, and at some point, she got a hold of Cameron Burnett walked out with a kendo stick, and somehow she got a hold of it somewhere in between the match, and she started to attack both Cameron and Mindy with the kendo stick.
Stormy,
and not only were
not
some of the fans,
kid.
right, and like not only were some of the fans in the crowd taken back,
losing her composure.
Hey, not a normal Stormy move. Like normally she's cool as a cucumber. Is that how they say it, right?
Yeah, cool as cucumber. Yeah.
But the crowd was taken back by those actions, but it also took HCW's the CEO, Billy Simmons, it took him by surprise because he's not used to this. And after he saw what was happening, and this was after one of the other wrestlers stepped in to help out Cameron not get attacked anymore. Like he took the kendo stick from Stormy, but it took Billy Simmons by surprise. And after what he saw, he had no choice but to go out there, stop the match, and ultimately he had to end it. Nobody was upset about it because the whole crowd knew what was going on, right? Because Stormy was sort of putting on, I guess, is it safe to say that this would have been more of like an Empire-like behavior?
Well, let me put it this way. Stormy definitely showcased an attitude of self first at that show. I don't know what she was heated about, but it certainly...
I don't either.
Let me put it this way. From what I heard, like from the stage, she called out like Billy and like mocked him from the stage with the mic. I mean, so like she's all like has something that she needs to get out and say to somebody. Here's what it is. I think she's been out of shape about the title. She thinks she is mad. And in fact, I heard her saying this backstage. So I'm going to go ahead and let this slip because we can do this. She is mad because the same people who have been cheering her on this whole time were cheering for Heidi Howitzer to take her title. We're cheering for Mindy Grace to kick her butt. Like in that 3-way title where she lost her title, she's ticked off because she feels so like this to me felt more like a response or a reaction to what she feels like is the betrayal from the fans. At least that was what it felt like. And so that's what I think we saw a lot of was just she, and certainly the way she reacted in this match. I mean, but I can't help but wonder if having to be in another triple threat match with Mindy Grace is part of the reason why it went down that way.
Well, no matter why she did it or like what I
could
thought
you imagine, hang on,
across,
just for that sake, could you imagine having the title, losing it in a triple threat, and then having to earn back your number one contender spot in a triple threat?
She just lost it against Heidi one-on-one.
Oh, that's right. The triple threat was this one.
She lost it at Road to Legacy.
Right, but it was at Road to Legacy that she was feeling like that the fans were cheering on Heidi to take her title from her. So,
okay.
A lot of heat, man. A lot of heat.
Well, no matter what her reason was, the situation left Billy, with a tough decision, but not a single fan, like I said, felt he had any better way to handle it, but Billy was forced by the hand of Stormy, and not only to stop the match, but also to disqualify her from the competition, leaving him with another decision to make. Who would be the number one contender for the Sunflower title? That's what this match was about, and he was ultimately faced with the decision to make a quick decision right off the tip of his feet. And after Billy's decision, Stormy's behavior began, like you said, to get even worse and disrespectful towards Billy, and we've never seen that because she's like this with Billy. I feel he made a difficult but right decision. I don't know how you feel.
It's a hard one, man. It's the manager call. Nobody likes the manager when he has to make a hard call, but the fact is somebody has to make that hard call.
I guess at this point you can kind of steal a line from Dick Richards. It's only business. All right.
Ooh, Bobby, you did not. You did not.
But despite the actions of Stormy Renee, what,
bro? If you don't clip that and send that to Billy and Dick Richards and Storm, like that's oof.
Oh,
bro,
this whole
you
thing
shot across the bow on that one.
That came right off the top of my head
business.
too.
Ouch. Oof.
But
Stormy,
despite
I didn't say that. I want to be very clear. I did not say that. I'm trying to paint at least a neutral picture of it. This man just flat out said it's only business.
Hey, I did call her the other Stormy, so I've done worse.
Oh,
the rest of the show went on smoothly, but his decision of who would be named the number one contender had the fans, and not only the fans, but us, the Chubby Buddies, excited.
Yeah, that's why we're excited, man, because Chubby Buddy Studios, like we get to announce or highlight, rather, like we said, we are honored to highlight the match that's taking place. HCW's biggest show of the year, like we said, Legacy is the biggest show. And so on April 20th at HCW's Legacy, that Sunflower title will be defended. And that match is set, and none other than sweet as tea, Mindy Grace is going to be taking on the tough opponent and current Sunflower champion, the Rad Warrior, Heidi Howitzer. It's going to be a tough match. Come on. We all saw how things went down. So it's going to be a tough match for Mindy, but Heidi will have her hands full, especially when the room gets filled with diehard Mindy Grace fans. Because let me tell you, Wichita loves them some Mindy Grace, and they will be nice and loud for her. great opportunity for Mindy as she's already had the local fans on her side. But this, again, a win, getting the Sunflower title, that could push her to another level of stardom, getting her networked out to other independent industries, and certainly bring her to that next echelon of wrestling. So this is a huge opportunity for her. She does not want to miss this. She's got to take full advantage of this. So we're excited to be a part of Mindy's opportunity at possibly becoming the next title holder. And in fact, let me tell you why we're super excited about this, because next week, Mindy Grace is actually going to join us right here on the Chubby Buddy Podcast. And we are going to highlight this upcoming match with the Rad Warrior Heidi Howitzer. And maybe even get a little bit of a glimpse into what her game plan is, how she's preparing for this match, what she plans to do, how she'll attack it differently. And maybe, we'll get a chance to talk to the hopefully new Sunflower champion before she actually gets crowned with that, before she gets to claim that title, that champion. So tune in next Thursday, not this Thursday that this is coming out, but next Thursday to see what Mindy has to say and to help us highlight this opportunity to help her build her legacy as a professional wrestler. We hope you tune in. It's going to be a blast. Mindy Grace next week on the Chubby Buddy Podcast. Heartland Championship Wrestling Legacy is coming up. Don't miss it. April 20th, Osage Rec Center. 5 o'clock's the VIP entrance. 6 o'clock bell rings. We're serving Chubby Buddy biscuit bombs there. In fact, we should talk about that, Bobby.
Well, before you talk about that, don't forget the ticket prices are only $12. They start at $12.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, let's talk about that, please. Can we? Because that's a huge deal. Say that again. Say what you said again.
Ticket prices start at $12. Just $12.
$12. Ticket price $12. But also, what else? Because this was huge. I thought this was really, really cool. Not just are the ticket prices $12.
Anybody
but
under
on top of that,
the age of 12.
Kids, ages 12 and under, right? Ages 12 and under? Under the age of 12. Hang on. Under the age of 12.
12 and under.
Is it 12 and under?
12 and under, yep.
It's 12 and under. Don't worry, 12-year-olds, we got you too. Okay?
So just remember,
you're
12
not
and
too
12.
old. Okay, so $12 a ticket is the starting price. 12 and under, get in free.
Free.
Okay,
Free.
so you got that. That is a family night out.
Free.
You can feed the kids. You can entertain them for less than you would spend at McDonald's for everybody for food. You can not only get into a show, but you could probably come over and get biscuit bombs too for cheaper than you could get a meal at McDonald's for the whole family. It's going to be a blast. Oh man. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. Go for it, Bobby.
Well, that's pretty much it. The doors open at 5, like you said, and Chubby Buddy Food Truck. What flavors do you think you'll bring to build the Chubby Buddy legacy?
Okay. All right. So we've heard consistently from people every time we do the show that biscuits and gravy is fantastic. And it also feels like the staple. So the biscuits and gravy doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere soon. What we found as we've built out a little bit, buffalo chicken is really, really well loved, especially when we don't do it in the shredded chicken, but rather in the cubed chicken. The flavor takes on a better flavor. Bacon cheeseburger was our biggest seller at this last show. So that was one I was considering putting on the back burner, but now I'm not so sure. I would love your guys' input. If you're listening, I would love to know what you guys would love to taste in a biscuit bomb. Remember, these are 4-inch biscuits. They're huge. They're thick. We core them out of the inside. So, it serves as a portable base. One thing we were talking about, and this isn't realistic right now, but maybe someday I could pull this off. Have you ever had a lobster roll?
No, I've never had a traditional lobster roll, no.
Oh, they are phenomenal, but they're also fancy and expensive because, you got to fill it with
unless you're on the
lobster.
East Coast.
And that's why I was going to say, I was like, maybe eventually this wouldn't be super expensive. But that was one of the ones that I'd considered, was creating like a seafood one, or like a
Surf and surf.
like a lobster
or surf
tail.
and surf, I mean.
Yeah, something like that. Or we've considered like a barbecue one. I'm considering maybe like pulled pork, or maybe even brisket or something like that. I don't know.
Ooh, brisket.
I know. Could you
Burn
imagine
ends.
like barbecue Ooh, burn ends, yeah. Here's the problem though. What do you mix that with? Because I feel like
Burnt
meat
ends?
and barbecue sauce in a biscuit doesn't do it for me.
No, but you could do like something fancy with barbecue style. So like coleslaw. You could like almost pretty much make it like almost like a what do they call that? Where you put everything like a slop, roll, like a slop biscuit with like the fixings of barbecue in it.
Oof,
So
coleslaw.
mac and cheese, coleslaw,
Ooh.
brisket.
Oh, so Bobby, you did it for me.
What's that?
You did it for me.
What?
That was it. You're
Mac
a
and
champion,
cheese?
sir.
Mac and cheese.
You did all of it. So hear me out. Brisket, coleslaw, and mac and cheese. Right?
Yeah.
But it's called a brisket bomb.
A brisket. Oh. See?
Get it? Because it's
there we go. I
a
do need to be
bomb
in
instead of a
freaking-
biscuit bomb.
I do need to be in like a
Again, we need to run an advertising agency.
something.
We can totally do this.
But let's not forget about HCW one last time. Don't forget you're following them on Facebook, Instagram, X, or Twitter, if that's how you call it now. They are also on Patreon. So for just $5 a month, you can get all the past events up into the current events, and then also get the color commentary during the live show. Follow them on YouTube. They're trying to build that up, but their Facebook is a poppin'. Don't forget about Legacy, the largest show, I would argue, probably in the state of Kansas and maybe even the Midwest at some point.
Ooh.
So, like we said before, it is the Wrestle Mania of HCW.
Oh. Let's talk sports.
Now, there's a ton of
Hang on, are we talking sports or sports entertainment? Because sports entertainment happening
well,
right
I mean,
now.
yeah,
WrestleMania 40.
WrestleMania is happening right now in Pennsylvania. Is it raining?
What?
Is it raining? Are they outside?
I don't.
This one?
It might be outside. I think it is outside.
Yeah, I think they're at the football field, or is it
I haven't
Heinz
seen any
Field?
rain.
Oh, maybe
I
they
haven't
aren't.
seen any rain.
Well, outside of I guess WrestleMania and entertainment of wrestling, what I guess Super Bowl or not Super Bowl? Jesus criminy, the Chiefs. Like the big news with the Chiefs is obviously Rashee Rice. Like that's the biggest news.
Well, and I don't know if you've heard, but Heather told me that the report came out that he's acknowledged that he was the one driving the Lamborghini. And that he's going to do everything he can to make this right, to make amends, and to accept the consequences for his actions.
Could go the other route and not do this, but I mean, I applaud his him coming forward. That was
same.
You don't see that.
I think in the long run, it will keep him on the Chiefs, and I think it'll keep him out of most of the hot water. I think he'll end up serving a suspension, maybe 4, 6.
You don't think
maybe
he'll
8
serve
weeks.
any jail time?
No, because I think
was...
ultimately for jail time to be served, they're going to have to. He's going to have enough lawyers and be able to make a strong enough case to plead out statewide, or from the prosecuting attorney. I think what he'd have to watch for, and this is really where it's going to matter, right? This is where it's really going to matter is the families,
the guns also.
Well, yeah, but again, how much evidence is there that can be admissible in court? That's it's not about what goes to trial, not what actually occurred.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, do you think that because of his response, Andy Reid is allowing him to stay on the Chiefs, or do you think?
Yes, I think the only way he stays on the Chiefs is doing what he did just now, to come out, to own up to it, and to acknowledge that he's going to take full responsibility. That's the only way this guy even has a career in the NFL moving forward.
Okay.
The problem is there's video evidence of everything that went down, and so there's no denying Yeah, there's no denying what happened and his responsibility and role in it. So you cannot run from this. The faster you turn around and own it, the better it looks for people.
Maybe he'll be that saving grace for all players.
The easier it is for
in the
people
future.
to forgive.
Yeah, I mean, he did forgive Michael Vick also, so let's not forget Andy Reid does have a forgivable
He doesn't
soul.
have a problem taking on a rowdy player, but you better believe they're not going to stay rowdy with him.
Right.
He is a coach of men. That's what he does. He transforms men into men.
Yeah.
They're also football players, but that's one of the things I love is great coaches understand that what they do is more than just teach a sport. They grow men into men. It's discipleship.
Yeah. But other news, Chiefs also got a backup QB, one that I kind of didn't see coming. I didn't see that
Carson
coming.
Wentz, baby.
I mean,
The
as
Eagle
much as
pride.
I don't know, like what the Chiefs have been doing. I don't think this was like their smarter move. Like this isn't anything
You don't
good.
think so?
He hasn't proved anything as a professional starting quarterback or a backup.
He took his team to the playoffs as a starter.
He was number 2 in his division.
Everybody hates this argument.
He was number 2 in his division.
Uh-huh.
It's not that hard in the NFC East. I'm just saying.
Bro, that's your division.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Cowboys won that division that year. Like there's nothing for me to say, oh, that's like saying Kaepernick took his team to the playoffs and he didn't. Like
But
he didn't take his team.
No, Kaepernick didn't.
Kaepernick did not.
Alex
Smith took him, got hurt.
And then Kaepernick.
Yeah.
But again, it was Wentz who took him, and it was
Foles that won it.
Foles who won with it. And I love
I'm
Foles.
just
I
saying.
think Nick Foles is cool too.
Sign Nick Foles then. Go get him out of retirement and sign Nick Foles.
We are not going to pull Nick Foles away from his more important job. That man is doing youth ministry now if he's retired, and I fully support him. He can keep on doing it.
I guess we'll see what happens.
I think Carson Wentz is a fun pickup. I don't think we paid a lot of money for him. So
that's the only good thing the Chiefs got was the cheap factor.
Well,
that's just me.
I think when push comes to shove and we're in a crunch spot, I think Carson Wentz will be a better decision maker than some of the other people that might have been available. And certainly at that price tag. So I'll take it.
We'll see.
How you feel? Let's talk about the big trade that everyone needs to know. That everyone needs to be prepared for why the team that you called last week is about to become the biggest threat to Kansas City.
Oh, the Texans getting digged.
Yes, sir.
They've stacked that team so well.
We were talking about them stacked.
Built the team.
We were talking about them as stacked before this trade happened.
But this just helps out.
Before the trade for Stephon Diggs, we were talking about how good this team was.
And before this, they had built a team around a team, right? Like, they're only adding more and more weapons for their now second-year quarterback.
This is going to be, I think, the biggest challenge Kansas City faces in the next 5 years coming.
Yeah.
The Texans will consistently be a threat.
Just gotten significantly more like talent spread out.
It's exciting, man. I like it. It feels good.
I mean, I
hate that like teams like the Bills and stuff feel like they got strip mined because it feels like they got nobody left.
They allowed it.
But still, it's weird to see, man. The Bills were one of our top competitors just 2 years ago. And now they're stripped out.
They turned into what the Texans were 3 years ago.
Yep.
The only thing they have going for them is so far the quarterback.
Ooh.
Pretty crazy.
Crazy.
The UFL started. So far that's been going pretty good.
How about it?
I didn't get to see opening weekend because we were busy.
I didn't get to watch it, but I
But I
got
watched
to
the
see
highlights.
highlights.
Yeah.
I watched
And they were
highlights
pretty
as
good.
well. Yep.
They were pretty good. I've got high hopes for the UFL. I really do.
It's looking more and more streamlined every year. I say every year as if this isn't the first year. It looks streamlined, and I think if
much
they can
more
keep
organized
up
too.
if they can keep this up, it will turn into a very good builder league, prep league for the NFL.
Yeah, if they can
I think
keep
there's a
that
lot of
unity
potential there.
between the two leagues and work together about
Keep
changing
a good, healthy
aspects of the
working
game,
dynamic.
this will be every football fan's dream, especially 10 years down the road. Like it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better and more exciting for every season that happens. So,
and we'll make football better in the process.
100% better.
So,
and speaking of making football better, how do you feel about the new NFL agreed upon kickoff rule?
I don't hate it, and here's why. Because when you look at it, people don't love kickoffs anymore anyways. Because nowadays kickers can just kick it in the end zone. So 9 times out of 10, we're not even getting a return. But that's what we want. We want action. We want excitement. We want energy. So give us some action. This kickoff is set up for action. That's the whole design of it. Nobody can move until the returner actually gets the ball. So really what you have is a one-on-one battle between kicker and returner and a whole freaking line that you can set up blocking arrangements ahead of time. But really, this comes down to a good old-fashioned, what feels like field-sized Oklahoma drill.
That, and I think, this isn't short. This is not very far off from what I was kind of going with, the talent of the kicker. I think this is going to come down to how good is your kicker at placing the ball. Like that's like,
do you remember the old coffin corner punting?
Yeah,
from Madden back in the 2000s. I think it might have went away by the 10s, but coffin corner punting was critical. It was a skill you had to develop in the game. I think that's something that is missing from the NFL these days, and would love to see that come back with this. That this kicking setup, this new kickoff style is going to allow for more precision kicking and less, let's just boot it down to the field and call it good.
But the only thing
let's be honest.
Yeah.
A kicker that can kick the ball far is good. We don't really care that much until they can kick it precise.
A field goal and for
far.
points.
Yep.
But like the only thing that this didn't do for me that I kind of like, I guess, had the idea for like mentally was get rid of the out of bounds rule on that landing zone. Like as long as the ball bounces, like that coffin corner kick, like that won't apply since they didn't get rid of the out of bounds rule.
But see, I see why they keep the out of bounds rule in there though.
Well, yeah, it's to keep it balanced of where the ball is going to be placed.
Right.
But the only downfall is that if it goes out in the landing zone, it goes back to, I think it's their 40, I think is
35.
Well, that's
35.
Well, with the penalty, depending upon where it goes out in the landing zone starts at their 35.
That's right.
The landing zone starts at, it starts at their 20 or is it their 35? I don't remember.
I think it's their 35. I think it's 20 if it gets.
The 20 is the landing zone, like where it starts, and then another 20 or another 10 back of the end zone. So it's a total of 30 yards that they have.
Okay.
But it has to land in that landing zone. And if it does and stays in bounds, it has to be returned.
Right.
Even if it goes into the end zone. But if it goes in the end zone, the returning team also has the option to pick it up and kneel it. There's no fair catch anymore.
Right.
So I think that they are going the right way. That is
kind of nice that fair catch is going away, and we're going to see action. It's either they're going to take a knee or they're going to take it out.
Yeah, I think it'll be exciting to see. I like how they also kind of added that the kicker can't go past where the team is lining up at until after the ball either landed in the landing zone or touches the returner.
Yep.
So it kind of adds that one man down factor, kind of like a penalty box type thing. And then you get that extra man after the ball's landed. It's like, oh, here we go. So I have high hopes for what they're doing. That's a personal opinion though. So
good.
Any more sports except for obviously wrestling? I mean, Wrestle Mania, like we said before. Cardinals.
Say,
How
Rey
the Cardinals
Mysterio is doing work right now.
The Cubs have won.
Cardinals just pulled off a W. They are 5-4, I think.
Did they play? Did the Cubs?
Although we're
play
at the
today?
bottom of the freaking division right now. You guys are
Yeah,
above us.
Cubs. Well, Cubs moved up, winning 5 in a row. I mean, that's
dude. Y'all are hot. We'll see if it stays.
yeah. Well, I mean, we can hope.
Yeah, y'all are 5-3, and we're 5-4.
And I am pumped for obviously
you lost. You lost last night for the first time.
Oh, okay. For me, I'm hopeful for the UFC 300 that's coming up next weekend. I will be tuning into that, so it's kind of good that we're recording with Minnie Grace on Sunday. I'm just saying.
There you go.
But no, I'm hopeful for the Cubs, as I usually am, especially this early. You can never, like, that's the downfall. Don't brag about your team this early in baseball. So,
baseball's a long season, man.
Almost, some would say too long, but I don't. But entertainment, I mean, I reached out. I watched the entire Coronation special of your buddy Justin.
Hey, what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. I mean,
yeah, that makes me happy. I
like,
knew you would.
He's
hilarious.
You can definitely tell that he's not like, he hasn't been an opening act for a long time, but he's
right.
Not,
you tell his experiences.
But this was also a year ago.
Decades of experience.
Yeah, and this was also a year ago. So I don't know what he looks like now. So, but from what I get, the one thing that I loved about this specific special is that it was intimate and very in a small. I love small comedy club type specials. You can take the arena and the theaters out of it. Like for me, for a special, I want it to be like I'm watching somebody that I'm getting to know. And
heck yeah!
I tell you, I'm going to say this. When I was I did reach out to him, by the way, and I dropped your name. He hasn't messaged me back. I mean, I'll shoot him a
message and say, "Hey, I would love it. If you ever want to jump on with me and my buddy Bobby, we'd love to."
Well, I actually invited him onto the Recess Ruckus. I invited him onto the Recess Ruckus. So I mean,
perfect.
I'll let him choose. But like, I reached out to him on Instagram.
Nice.
But the first thing that I thought, everything that he was talking about, is he our age or is he younger?
Older than us by maybe a year or two.
Does his story not remind you of mine?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Granted, he is like he lived in Oklahoma for a long period of time, much more than I did. I grew up in Oklahoma every summer. He went to school to be a youth minister. I didn't go to school, but I planned to go to school to be a youth minister. Like there's just those little things that he was talking about throughout the special. It's like, dude, that happened to me. I'm not skinny by any means, but but like those little things that he was talking about, I was like, man, it didn't work out for me either. Like that's where I was kind of like, I've got my favorite bits too. Like I would say the best one out of that special. Do you have a favorite bit from that one?
Oh God, I have a couple just off the top of my head. Gosh, his one about mom wanted him to be a pastor, dad wanted him to take over the family business. They didn't agree on much, but they did agree. We're not paying taxes. That was
good.
One of the best freaking lines.
Not everybody's going to understand that, and I think that pays tribute to the people that love comedy and also go to church or know about the church tax thing.
That's kind of what I love about him is he plays on what he knows. Midwest. I was going to say Midwest culture and humor.
Right.
I was going to say Christian, but he doesn't necessarily stay specific to Christian. He just addresses his Christian upbringing and how that culture and that Midwest lifestyle impacts ultimately how he does his comedy. And it's I love it.
Yeah, and there's just those little things that I knew exactly what he's talking about because I know that the church is tax exempt. That's why it was so funny to me because he was throwing a shot at religion when he wasn't throwing a shot at religion, and that's what made it so funny.
It's a playful jab. It's a playful jab at religion.
It's what comedy is intended for.
Joke about this.
It is what a comedy is intended for.
Exactly.
Okay, and he wasn't afraid to do
solid.
it. Granted, that's where he started stand-up comedy, from what I gathered from the special at the very end, when he was saying thanks to the club for letting him come on and film his comedy.
Yeah.
special there.
Blue Room. I don't know that it was the first place he did comedy, but all throughout his career, he kept coming back
Or maybe
to
it was
Springfield.
Springfield. Maybe it was Springfield of where he started, and that's why
Well,
he.
yeah, Springfield's real close to him, but Blue Room specifically, as a comedy club, there in Springfield was one of the places. Because even as a college student, we would go to Springfield to go see like comedy shows and stuff like that. So like Blue Room is where you'd go to see a show. But as he got his career up and going, the Blue Room was one of the first places that he did a show. I remember he did a show in Wichita because we came and saw you guys, and then we went to see him at his show. And then he's done 2 shows in Springfield that Heather and I have been to. We missed a show in Springfield. We couldn't make it that time. But yeah, he's been there consistently. But just kind of as his career has kind of developed, like he started locally, and then he moved to New York City for a couple of years trying to make it.
That's how he met
and then
Nate, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's how he met the homeless pimp, Nate, and all of that connection. And then when he came back here in the Midwest, then he, through those connections, he got on with Nick Swardson and toured with him for a little bit. And then they made the connection to Nate Bargatze. Bargatze started blowing up, so now he's touring with Bargatze. And so he's part of that crew and really connected to them. So it's just been really cool because this is the same guy that, we'd play, I'd say we play, we wouldn't play. He didn't necessarily play that often with us, but this is the dude who I would go in. This was the guy who was constantly, he was a movie buff. Okay. So this is the guy we'd go in, we'd admire his shoe collection that he had. Cause here's one of the things. Justin never had a roommate. He refused to get a roommate. He'd pay extra to not have to have a roommate. It's smart man.
And he had all the money from his dad's gambling problem.
Right, exactly. He could afford it. But on the side where his roommate's bed would have been, underneath the bottom was all of his shoes. And I'm telling you, this dude had a collection of shoes. Like he's been a sneakerhead for as long as I've known him. And then up top was his movie collection. And that was kind of where we had a common interest in that we're both movie buffs. He's a big movie fan. I'm a big movie fan. So we would go in and we'd talk movies. We'd borrow movies from him. I don't know if he ever borrowed anything from me, but we were always talking movies with him and David Conrad and other people there. But that was kind of the connection of how we got to know each other. And then actually another guy, a real country boy by the name of Jeff Newton, and him really hit it off. And Jeff and I were really good friends. And so Jeff started hanging out with Justin when he was off campus. And I think at that point he'd already gotten, maybe he was either dating or engaged, or maybe, he got married, I think at that point. But Jeff started hanging out with him, getting to know him. And so I had that connection there too. So when he started his comedy routine, Heather and I knew him separately, like just through college. And so when he started touring and stuff like that, we immediately said, hey, we're going. And so for as long as we've been together, we've tried to catch shows anytime he's been in our area because he's a good dude. He's funny. And we hit it off great.
Well, like I said, I mean, I didn't know that he was a movie buff because he didn't really bring that up. But I mean, there's another thing that like him and I.
He's a huge movie buff. And that's one of the things that I really think why we hit it off. And that's, again, I agree with you. Very similar to your story. That's probably why I like him so much, is he reminds me a little bit of you.
The only thing that is different for me is, one, he's obviously a professional stand-up comedian. Two, his parents paid for him to go to Ozark Christian College, but like
I would say his sense of style is definitely way more on point than yours. That's not a shot at you. It's just that dude's always been a fashionable guy.
Right. And well, I would say that like when I cared about like what like clothes I was wearing, I mean, granted, I didn't shop at like the Rolls Royces of places. Walmart was my spot, but like the one bit that I wanted to bring up, the best one was how his ex-wife got remarried on a mountaintop. Like that was the funniest shit. Oh my God.
That was good.
Like,
it's like
he didn't want me there.
He ain't coming.
He ain't coming. Oh man. It was great. It was good.
Funny. That is
But
good.
no, I did watch it. I watched it like I think it was only like a 40, maybe a 35-minute special, so it was perfect time.
Pretty sure it's an hour.
It's 35, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're killing me. I gotta look now.
I just watched it.
I was at that show. It was longer than 35 minutes.
You were
The
there.
show was
special.
maybe
Justin.
Yeah, when he recorded Coronation, I was there in the
Coronation.
audience.
But what I'm saying is his special. Oh, okay, 54 minutes. Wait. Yeah, 54 minutes.
Sucker.
Okay.
Told you it was almost an hour.
Okay. Well, but I did watch
You
the
read it
entire
backwards, didn't you? You read it backwards.
No, that would have been.
Wait, no.
45.
That would have been 45.
You're the math guy.
Well,
But no, that's I did watch that. I did reach out to him. I didn't want you to think that I was just using your name, but I did drop your name.
Oh, no, it's all good.
But
I'm
I'm
glad
sure
you
that
did.
he's such a large person on Netflix on Instagram that he probably don't read personal messages very often.
He may. He might not. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see here. Did you watch David Tell's stand-up special? Because that was awesome.
I have not watched David Tell's. I did watch Spaceman.
Ooh, how'd you like it?
I thought it was very intriguing.
Did I describe it well enough for you?
You did. Definitely a change of pace for Adam Sandler. Intriguing. It was intriguing for me. You're right, though. The more I process it, the more it definitely does fit within the niche of Adam Sandler. It just feels like a new branch. Does that make sense?
Well, like I think I described it as it's very Adam Sandler because it's him, but I also added to that it has that what dreams may come vibe to it with not dealing with death, but being separated from the one that you care about.
Well, and that's the thing. The theming and the way they develop that out is very well done.
It was definitely
again,
a different,
like I said,
completely different movie of Adam's.
Not like if you're thinking, so think the depth of Big Daddy without the comedy of Big Daddy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what Spaceman felt like.
But I enjoyed it for what it was.
It just didn't have comedy. It was more...
It was serious.
Surreal and dramatic and introspective is really what I would call that movie. Very introspective.
It showed his I guess spectrum of that he's on of how he writes, because I'm sure that he wrote so much of that. I mean, granted, I don't know that for sure because I don't talk to Adam like that.
Good movie though. It was a good movie.
I like.
So David Tell was pretty good, yeah. His stand-up's pretty solid. Okay, I gotta watch it.
100%. If you like David Tell, you have like David Tell is a type of comedian that you have to enjoy. So I didn't know if you liked him or not.
I've heard his stuff. I think I like him. It's been a while since I've listened to anything.
Now I do have a question for you. I just watched a trailer. I don't know if it's real or not for Back to the Future remake.
Okay, I swear I saw this trailer too. There's no way this is real, right?
It's got the guy that plays. Is it Spider-Man? Like one of the
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
There's no way that's real.
It said that it was a teaser trailer. Now they used CGI in it enough to where I was kind of like, I just didn't know if it was real. But I did see the big one that I saw is I tagged you in Facebook yesterday with Netflix has re-established that Mindhunter will be coming out for a third season.
I know. I'm so excited about that. Hang on, Bobby.
What?
This post, was this 5 days ago?
Which one?
On April 1st about Back to the Future?
No, this came up on my feed like on Thursday. Like it came up on a YouTube feed, like a YouTube like ad. Teaser trailer is what it said.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not real. It's a fan-made trailer.
But I know 5 days ago was April Fool's, but I try not to click on anything on that day, first of all, and I look and see how many days it was from that post.
It's so bad. April Fool's Day gets so bad. I hate
April Fool's Day. It's the dumbest American holiday that we have.
It's Troll Day. That's really what it should just be called. Troll Day.
Yeah.
It's a day where people troll each other.
Don't listen to any sports news that day, that's for sure. Jesus. But no, I just didn't know if you saw that. I didn't know how real it was, but I was excited about Netflix releasing that they were going to have
Mindhunter season 3. Let's go.
So I was pretty happy about that.
That'll be good.
Any other entertainment that you've been checking out? I mean,
Oh man. What shows have I been watching? I watched oh gosh, what did I watch the other day? I watched a movie the other day
I
that was
just
pretty
watched.
good.
I started season 3. Actually, I'm like 4 episodes in of The Boys of season 3. What in the
Yeah.
world is episode 1 of season 3 about? That was the most bizarre way to begin a season. The dude that shrinks down into a mini.
Oh,
Bro.
yeah.
My dad called me laughing. I'm like, he goes, "Have you seen?" I was like, "Have I seen what?" And he goes, "The season 3." And I'm like, "No, like I'm only on season 2 still." I told him to start watching it, and he just binge watched the entire series. So I get to season 3 like 2 days ago, and I'm like, "What in the world did I just watch?" Like that was the most weirdest, I guess, buffer to begin a season / any type of episode. Like, what were they thinking? For people who are listening,
really
what happened? This dude shrunk down into
You don't need to
microscopic.
describe it.
Oh, I will.
I don't know that this will be
Microscopic
appropriate for a
human being.
podcast.
The dude gets inside of this dude's male organ called the penis.
All right, stop.
Hey, you just shut your mic off. That's
It's
awesome.
basically the Thanos theory, the Ant-Man Thanos theory, but not up the backside.
Bro. And he's doing a little booger sugar. So he's got a little bit of the sniffles. And when he sneezes, he gets back to normal size. The dude sneezes while he's in this dude's urethra.
Why do you...
Yeah.
Bobby.
What?
This
I gotta paint a picture for our listeners.
Necessary.
I gotta paint a picture for our listeners.
Nope. That was not necessary.
But first of all, the first thing I said to my dad, I was like, how is
still...
that funny to you? That was the most weirdest thing I think I've ever seen on any television show.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
That's to say the least.
There's a lot of disturbing stuff in season 3. Very disturbing.
Yeah. So far, I'm on episode 4, I think, and it's gotten pretty wild. Like,
yeah,
wild.
I'm pretty sure this is just that dude's. This is just Kripke's chance to go buck wild with a series because he's doing it, and Prime's paying for every bit of it.
And they still have season 4 to come out.
Yeah. Well, just after you finish this season, then you need to go to Gen V and watch that because
I don't know if I can watch. I'm not a big animated guy. Like,
no, not that one. Gen V.
Oh,
Gen V's not animated.
Oh, is that the kids?
Yeah, that's the college students.
The high school or college, whatever it is.
Yep.
So what movie was it that you said you were going to watch? Or that you did watch?
Well, I was looking for the title of it, but I can't find it now. Did I talk about 3 Body Problem last week?
Yeah, you said that it was a good show.
Yeah, that sci-fi one. I finished that up.
Aliens? You said just think about aliens.
Yeah, it's intriguing. It's aliens, yeah. It's definitely about aliens. So, I was watching... What was I watching the other day?
Just our queue is probably significantly different. Like, I
haven't watched nearly as much stuff just because I've been working. But when I do, shut down for the day, I throw something on the TV.
We
stuff
usually
like that,
end the day with like something to watch and
same.
Like,
I think a lot of people do that.
Normally, it's like something that we're both enjoying. Like this, now we're rewatching Dexter. So Jamie didn't get to see it.
That's cool.
I like Dexter, but I will always be a fanboy of House.
House is good. Oh, I was watching X-Men 97, the new X-Men. That's cartoon though.
You're gonna be ashamed.
That was good.
I haven't even seen any of the X. I've seen one X-Men spinoff, and it's the one where he has
talking
a
about
kid.
The movies?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Yeah, no, I'm talking about the cartoons, bro.
Oh, okay.
They started remaking the old X-Men cartoons. They've got a new, basically, it's called X-Men 97, and it's basically a sequel to the original X-Men cartoons. So I've been watching that. That's been pretty good.
I've only seen one X-Men movie though, and that's the one I don't know it. Is Logan? Is that right?
Yeah, Logan's
it's the
good.
Only one I've ever seen.
Logan's the best one to watch if you're gonna watch one. It's the end of the story, but Logan's good.
Yeah,
it's very good acting.
It was apparently a spoiler for me because I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, so you didn't know what was happening? Well, that sucks. That's a terrible way to be introduced to Logan.
I was watching it.
At the end,
it
of
wasn't
the story.
bad for the action. It was pretty good.
No, I'm saying like for the way it ends, though. Like it's like that was a culmination of 17 years of film for all the other fans.
Yeah, and I haven't watched any of those like fantasy or final or the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen any of that. Is it Fantastic Four that's a part of?
No, that's X-Men.
Oh, well, X-Men is Wolverine,
Which is but it's Marvel. They're all
Right.
part of Marvel. Fantastic Four is another group in Marvel.
Oh, okay. See,
But X-Men is the
This is the
the
one
superheroes of the
genre
world.
of film that I'm not a buff in, and
He's not at all, y'all. He tunes out all the superhero stuff.
I just
breaks my heart because I
except for
love
the
it all.
boys. Like that's like until
I know,
this season. Like,
this is what's amazing to me. Like seeing you like actually like engage in the superhero.
well, it's not like I'm not having to use my imagination much. Like it's all right there. Like with Marvel movies, like you still have to use your imagination, no matter how real it seems.
Sure.
But the boys, like this is just life with superheroes. Like that's no matter how crazy it is. Like season 3, episode 1, bizarre. Not at all what I would have ever pictured life to be. Just saying.
For sure.
But I think that's an episode, bud.
I think so too, man. It's been a good time.
An hour and 38 minutes. That's not even
nice.
with cutting some stuff out if I have to.
Good fun, guys.
So
thanks.
But if you were listening this far, I want to say thank you for listening, and please hit that
Much
like button. Consider subscribing. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. We drop some videos on now. Check out our sponsors, HCW and Rage Beef Jerky. Make sure you're following them. And Josh, did you want to add something?
No, I was going to say get your jerky on, but I've already said it today. So.
Oh yeah,
okay. I've already said it today. So.
But yeah, make sure you're following them on Facebook, Instagram, for sure for Rage, and then HCW has Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Patreon. Don't forget to
make
follow
sure
them
to
on
join
Patreon.
us next week as we have Mindy Grace joining us.
Special
Sweeter than tea. Mindy Grace.
Sweet as tea.
Sweeter
than tea.
Sweeter than tea.
Ooh.
Sweeter than tea for sure.
Well, I'll let you
Sweeter
introduce
than Southern
her
tea,
then.
Mindy Grace. Let's go.
I'll let you introduce her to them. But I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man. Have a great day. Great week.
I will do my best. I love you.
I'll see you next time, okay?
All right. Bye.
Love you.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.